Can you just think about that life for a second, that life didn't have a choice to be brought here? God chose them to be here. And I understand that there are people, families out there that cannot conceive, and my heart goes out to them. You have a conscience, and you're always going to get that pull to do the right thing. And if you ignore it, if you ignore that pull, baby, that's on you. You choose to be to not have sympathy when someone else needs sympathy. When you need sympathy, just understand, because your time is going to come where you're going to need sympathy. You're going to need compassion. People call it karma. I call it you reap what you sow. Ladies, I have a new story for you all. Before you decide to become an egg donor, to sell your eggs, make sure you watch this video first. There's this woman, she's about in her 40s. She decided to sell her eggs when she was 20 years of age. She donated her eggs, and now 20-something years later, there's a young woman in her inbox claiming that she could possibly be her daughter. Let's take a look at this post. I found this on Threads. Very interesting story, and I checked it out. It's very much real. Okay, it says, I need insight. I was like 20 years old, and I needed to pay my rent, so I went and donated my eggs. Now I have some young lady in my box claiming that I am her mom, but I'm not. I signed my rights over, took my check, went on about my business. I don't know, parts of me feels wrong, but the other part of me don't want anything to do with her. You got one part that feels wrong, but you got another part. So we always have like the flesh and we got the spirit. We always have like one side feeling this way, then the other side feeling this way. But it's the reason why she feels wrong. And then there's a reason why she don't want anything to do with this young lady. That's her flesh. Because she did it for the check. Her intentions was to get that money and get that check so she could pay her rent. But how many of us know that actions comes with consequences? Just because you do things right now, that doesn't mean years later, it could be 40 years later, you're still going to have to deal with what you decided to do in your past. That's the thing about decisions. Always make sure you think about your decisions before you do them, and then weigh out the pros and the cons. Because you might not, like, for example, she could pay her check if she donated her eggs right now, but years later, you might have to revisit that decision, that choice that you made. Let's read this, the message. Hey, so I don't mean to be a bother, but I think you may be my biological mom. My mom revealed this info to me and was wondering if you wanted to do a DNA test and possibly get to know me and build a relationship as your daughter. I think I look so much like you. Wow. I've always thought if I were adopted or found out I was adopted, I would want to know my biological parents. Wouldn't you want to know? Some people wouldn't be interested, and I understand that, but I think it will always be a part of me that will be curious to know, to get to know them, to know their personality, to know more about my family, the family that I came from, the lineage, and you know, I would just really be curious. So maybe the daughter has grown up and wanting an actual relationship with her biological mother. So let's read some of these comments. Tracking down an egg donor is awfully weird. It's not weird. People are so insensitive. Everything's weird, huh? And she liked it. She liked the comment, the lady who wrote this post. It's not weird at all. This is someone's life. This is someone dealing with this. You got to put yourself in somebody else's shoes and understand, if that were you, wouldn't you want to know who your parents are? Hey, donor conceived person here. No, she's not your daughter, but she is your bio child. You actively chose to help bring a kid into this world. That was your choice. not hers. It's beyond normal for the child to be interested in you. That's not weird, that's human. Maybe find some compassion and empathy. I'm a mom to a donor conceived kiddo. You're her parent's donor, but you share DNA with this child. She probably wants to know you are a bit to better understand herself. She probably wants to know you a bit to better understand herself. It might have been transactional for you, but it's her identity trying to figure out. Doesn't mean you have to raise her or owe her, but please don't break her by dismissing her or treating her like a commodity. Go over some of the possible pros and cons of doing this. If you're in need of money right now, I just want you to consider this video, and you got this idea, or maybe someone gave you this idea to sell your eggs to become an egg donor. So I saw some of the pros and cons, and on some of these websites, they won't tell you some of the cons, which is, make sure you do your research, okay? So some of the pros: you can help a family who cannot conceive. You get to help someone else. You get paid. You get that bag. After doing some research, I saw that you can get paid up to $5,000 or more. And some people do this multiple times. After your second time, you get paid even more. That was interesting. So some of the cons, there can be some complications, but that is highly unlikely. If you guys want to research some of the medical complications, you guys can look that up on your own. So some other cons are that the child may contact you in the near future. I saw some banks promise to not disclose any information, but that is impossible with all this technology. Maybe the parents might disclose it, maybe the child might find out on their own. Who knows? Okay, but it's 100% impossible to keep your information anonymous. And some of the cons are that your actions have consequences. You never know. I don't think this is a bad thing that the child is reaching out. I think it's just her being curious and wanting to know who her actual bio mother is. Let's keep reading some more comments. This sentiment is odd, but posting this where she can see you blasted it potentially is very weird as well. Why would you post this incredibly vulnerable conversation? Oh, look, another donor conceived person here. Really, all you owe her is a relevant medical records that may affect her if she's a minor. Honestly, do not respond without explicit permission from her actual parents. Whether you want a relationship or not, she shouldn't be contacting you without her parents being an active part of the conversation. It's low-key weird that the parent gave her your information in the first place without reaching out themselves to see if it was okay. Wow, I didn't know that there were so many people who were conceived, that were donor conceived. So that is interesting. We all need some sympathy, some deep compassion. Everything is not always about you. It's okay to feel sad when someone else feels sad. It's okay to grieve when someone else is grieving. It's okay to mourn when someone else is mourning. That's okay, y'all. We're human. And understand that other people have feelings. Just how you had feelings when you did what you did, and you have an explanation about why you did what you did, other people have feelings as well. It's not a crime to show some sympathy. It's not going to hurt you either to show some compassion. But I think we live in such a world that is so heartless. And you know why? Because we got selfish motives. We're intentionally selfish. We have consumed ourselves with being self-motivated. Everything has to be about ourselves, that we have probably forgotten or moved away from being sympathetic. Anytime you choose to have sex, donate your eggs, to do anything like that, you could possibly, there's a chance that you could bring life into the world. And can you just think about that life for a second, that life didn't have a choice to be brought here? God chose them to be here. But that person didn't get a choice to say, yes, I want to be here. They were brought here. And I understand that there are people families out there that cannot conceive, and my heart goes out to them. Now I'll say this and then I'll call the video. What you put out is what you're gonna get. So if you decide, I'm just saying this in general. This is not geared towards this woman, this lady. This is just in general. How you treat people is what you're going to get. I don't know when you're going to get that in return, but you're going to get it back. So when you choose to be cold, to be a mean girl, when you choose to be to not have sympathy when someone else needs sympathy, when you need sympathy, just understand, because your time is going to come where you're going to need sympathy. You're going to need compassion. Life happens to everybody. You might not have the same situation, but it's going to be a time where you need some compassion. You need someone to cry with you. You need someone to hug you. You need someone there for you. You might need a relationship with someone, a connection with someone. Just remember, the energy that you putting out is what you're going to get back. I don't like when people are openly mean to people. Being a mean girl is not a flex that we think it is. Because you're going to get that energy back. And nobody wants to be treated that way. Especially when you're going through a tough time. Nobody wants to be treated that way. So just remember that the next time you feel the need to diss somebody or to be a mean girl, just remember that. You're gonna get that back. People call it karma. I call it you reap what you sow. But I think it costs $0. Not I think. It costs $0 to show some freaking compassion and to do the right thing. We all got a conscience. That's why you'll feel, for example, the times that I was about to make a bad decision, I had this feeling of not to do it. You think that feeling is there for fun? You have a conscience. And you're always going to get that pull to do the right thing. And if you ignore it, if you ignore that pull, baby, that's on you. Because you had a warning, you just didn't listen to the warning. We all need to pay attention to that little nudge. It's going to be a little nudge when you get to that door and you got to make a choice. You got to make choice A, choice B. Turn left, turn right. If you start walking left, start driving left, you're going to get a little nudge. Hey, come back. Don't do that. And if you listen to it, that's on you. There's plenty of times where I felt that little nudge, like, ooh, I probably shouldn't do that. She says it right here. Parts of me feels wrong. Listen. Listen to that little nudge that you got, because you're going to regret it if you don't. You'll regret it if you do not. You might not regret it now, 3 months from now, a year from now, but you will regret it one day. So I hope to see you guys in the next video. I'll see you guys later. Bye.